Entertainment Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Star Wars: Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 4, and my thoughts on this episode. I think it's an okay episode. I think the beginning bit has problems, the middle bit was great, and the ending was okay. So, all in all, a strong episode, but there are just still problems, especially with the beginning scene. Also problems with Grogu trying to become a Mandalorian. I still kind of don't really think that's the right move to do with Grogu. And Bo-Katan, I kind of want to see her challenging more of this group's culture. I don't know why she's just settled in, since in this episode they make it blatantly clear she doesn't really understand what they do, or this is the way, and all that stuff. Like, she doesn't understand it fully. So I kind of think they should have gone into more detail in this episode, especially with her, and trying to teach us more about their culture. Because we're all just like her, we don't understand it, we don't get it. Or at least I can say that's what I don't really understand. I still don't understand the helmets. I still don't understand why they don't take them off. There's even a scene in this episode that I laughed at because it's just so fucking ridiculous. So, there are problems with the episode. But, again, all in all, an okay episode, because that middle part was great. I loved seeing that, and the fact that they brought back somebody and actually did him a lot of justice, I kind of think. I can respect them for that, because he did get done dirty by the media in the prequels. And even he himself has said it wasn't the fans, it was the media that screwed him over. So before anybody tries to say, oh, this is a win for him because of the bad toxic fans, he has never said the fans were the problem. He said it was the media that was the problem. So get that right, SJW, if we try to say this is a win against toxic fans. We're not the problem, the media was. But anyway, I think I'm going to give this episode out of 10, probably a 7.5. I think the middle part is just too good to ignore and not give them points for that. So 7 out of 10. Let's go into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with us on the Mandalorian beach, and all the Mandalorians are training. I didn't really like this scene because it kind of looked a bit all over the place. They didn't seem to be any structure with the training. It's just like everybody go out and start training. And I don't think warrior culture would be like that. And I don't understand why they are still in the same area where they were attacked by a massive crocodile. That kind of doesn't make sense. Like, you've been attacked there, and again in this episode you get attacked there again, and they always I'll go into that in more detail, but it's just dumb they haven't moved. So everybody's training, and Mando decides to train Grogu. He says it's time for the Grogu to become a foundling, or a whatever, Padawan or something, or at least in the Mandalorian culture, a different word for it. So he wants him to train. So he picks some random foundling, and Grogu and this foundling duel with darts, basically. And at the start, the foundling just shoots Baby Yoda a couple of times, and then Mando has to remind Baby Yoda that he's a Jedi and use the Force, and so we get this kind of weird scene where Baby Yoda jumps over the foundling twice, and I just got to say, it looks so fucking fake. It really does. I hate it when they get him to move like that. Just use CGI like they did with Yoda. I know some people are absolutely annoyed with CGI and they don't like that about Yoda in the prequels, but do you think this is better when we can blatantly see... I mean, you can blatantly see how ridiculous it looks. Just use CGI. It's not that difficult. So, yeah. Baby Yoda jumps over the foundling twice and then shoots the kid with 3 paintball darts and wins the competition. And he's made Mando proud, and he's starting to move up in the world of the Mandalorians. I still don't think this makes sense for Grogu. I think he's a fucking Jedi. We should never have been in this position where Grogu was trained to be a Mandalorian. Again, it still seems ridiculous. Why is he not trained to be a Jedi? Why is... I could go on a tangent about that, but let's go on with the review. So, whilst everybody's training, a dragon pops by and grabs the foundling that Yoda beat. Not Yoda, that Grogu beat. And grabs him, and when the Mandalorians try to chase after him, they can't keep up the dragon because they've run out of juice. And only Bo-Katan is the only idiot to realise using a ship makes more sense because... Now, again, I like the fact they show that jetpacks run out of fuel. You know, they're not just endless, you know, they don't have endless gas supplies, which I like the fact they just showed that, yes, everything runs out of gas. But they said, because Favreau, because I don't know his character's name, but it's blatantly fucking Favreau. Favreau tells Mando that this has happened multiple fucking times. So we're staying in an area where we've lost a bunch of people. We've not prepared for this, and you're going to let this dragon keep, you know, stealing or killing Mandalorians. So we're going to stay in an area we know is dangerous, and we've already lost a bunch of Mandalorians. So we're not going to move, and we're also not going to have guards. We're not going to have, you know, training for taking out dragons, so they don't just rip one of us off and eat us later. Do you know how stupid the Mandalorians look? I mean, for fuck's sake, they were attacked by a crocodile and they weren't ready for it. And they were attacked by a dragon and they weren't ready for it. They have no lookouts. I mean, come on. It's just, this show does make the Mandalorians look so fucking stupid. But anyway, Bo-Katan follows on her ship, gets back to the group of Mandalorians, tells them where the dragon's nest is. They make a plan to fly there on Bo-Katan's ship, land there, and then climb up the massive mountain so they don't alert the dragon to what they're planning to do, basically. So they set off, and Grogu gets left behind, and he then gets to have a little alone time with the Forger, and the Forger explains to him about how Mandalorians, you know, make their own armor, they build up from nothing, and then she gives him, Grogu, a nice little piece of Mandalorian armor that he's going to build on later before he becomes a full Mandalorian, or whatever. But while she's making this stuff, Grogu has a flashback to the attack on the Jedi Temple, where we see in a lot more detail of how he escaped the Jedi Temple. So, the first scene, the clones break through the door, which we've seen before. The 4 Jedi trying to protect Grogu, get slaughtered by the clones. Grogu jumps into a lift, and then he is met by a random Jedi Master. I didn't catch his name, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is, the actor playing this Jedi Master, which I'm guessing he is Ahmed Best. Now, if you don't know who Ahmed Best is, he's the guy who played Jar Jar Binks. And he got done dirty by the media, and it was a fuck up on George Lucas's part for making Jar Jar Binks so fucking annoying. But Ahmed, he's a good actor. Not a great actor, but I loved him in this episode. I'm so happy he's getting some love and some respect now. And I like the fact he was in this episode. Again, Ahmed's not a bad guy. He has never insulted the fans to what I know of. He's, he understands that, Star Wars, he didn't get a good part. He had to deal with it. And he's never literally said, oh, well, I was racially assaulted by fans. No, he wasn't. I mean, maybe some things, but, it was a bad character, and he accepts that, and I love that. And if this new character he has, I hope it does good. I hope he has a lot more episodes, because the guy's not a bad guy. But so Ahmed grabs the fallen Jedi, who's also in the lift with Grogu's lightsaber, and then you get this little fight between him and the clones, which I actually liked. And he manages to beat a bunch of them back, kills a couple of them, and then grabs their speeder bike. We then get this awesome chase scene with two clone gunships chasing him down, and then Ahmed goes down a tunnel where he then manages to drift into the stair part of the of the tunnel, where the gunship then crashes into the train and blows up. He manages to escape to a platform where there is a Naboo shuttle waiting for him with some Naboo security guards. They give Ahmed the ship and protect him whilst he gets Grogu out of there on the Naboo shuttle. And the clones pretty much wipe out the Naboo guards, and the ship escapes, getting chased by two V-Wings. And I thought this was a very good scene. I'm not very happy about another surviving Jedi, because we have so fucking many surviving Jedis now. It's getting ridiculous. But I'm happy that Ahmed has got a little bit of work, and hoping they kind of build upon this guy's character and it's not just a one-time thing, because that would be ridiculous. I know he's in some sort of stupid game show that Disney created, but let's be fucking honest, who the fuck is watching that? So I'm happy he's gotten a bit more work and he isn't wearing the Jar Jar crap anymore. But yeah, so that's how Grogu escaped the temple. He got Ahmed to give him a hand, and they were able to escape on the Naboo shuttle. So the Forger gives Grogu the armor. We then go back to the Mandalorian hunter group that was sent out to save the kid, and when they get to the nest, they decide to have a break and make camp. So this dragon could be eating the kid right now, and what they decide to do is make camp. Why are you not going up there straight away? That makes no fucking sense. That the kid could be getting eaten up there, and you're just going to sit down and have something to eat and have a little nap. You're there, just go up there and get him. It's just such a stupid fucking scene. But that's the dumbest part of the fucking episode. When we sit down to dinner, when they sit down around the campfire they've created, they're all given food. And now we get to the question of, what the fuck do these people do when they have to eat? And when Bo-Katan pretty much brings it up, because she has no fucking idea what to do in this situation, Mando pretty much tells her the dumbest fucking thing. So what these Mandalorians have to do is, they get given their food, and then they got to find somewhere secret to eat with their helmet off. It's so fucking stupid. Like, that's what you have to do. You can't take your helmet off in front of any of your friends. You just have to you have to have a helmet on at all times. And if you don't have your helmet on, nobody can see you. It's so fucking stupid. I laughed when they said that. That's what you have to do every time you want to have something to eat. Find an excluded area, a secret area, and eat. That's what you have to do It's fucking dumb. I fucking hate this fucking helmet rule. It makes no fucking sense, and it's just stupid. Fucking hell. So, after they've made camp, which again, is so stupid, the kid could be getting eaten up there, and they're all just having a fucking camping trip. It's just dumb. They scale the mountain using their cables. They climb up there, they get to the nest, and then Feige's character, Favreau, sorry, that's his name, Favreau. So Favreau jumps up there and he's rushing to get to the kid because Mando tries to scan the area and sees a bunch of heat signatures in the nest. Favreau runs over there because it turns out it's his son that was taken. And he still had and he still decided to make camp, not rush up there straight away. Fucking hell, man. But it turns out that the heat signature was a bunch of small dragons, baby dragons, and they then start to attack Favreau. And then all the Mandalorians start. Then the mother dragon flies up and then starts to also try to attack Favreau. But before the dragon does, he spits out his son out of his mouth. So that kid has been inside the stomach, and the stomach acids haven't killed him. Okay, so Favreau jumps on his jet and activates his jetpack, and all the other Mandalorians activate their jetpacks and chase down the dragon because it then runs off. We get this little fight between all the Mandalorians and the dragon. They try to take it down, but then Bo-Katan manages to stab it in the eye, I think, and then the dragon releases the kid, and then Mando has a jetpack right down to grab the kid before he falls down, and then manages to land somewhere safe, where Favreau is also crash landed because he got knocked by the dragon. He hands Favreau his son, and Favreau says, this is the way, blah, blah, blah. Dragon gets killed and then eaten by crocodiles. They all get back to the camp, and everybody cheers and says hooray because they all got back safe. And also Bo-Katan tells the Forger that they have a bunch more foundlings for them. It turns out it's all the baby dragons, so that they can mould them into Mandalorians. Why not just mould them into creatures you ride? But okay. And then the Forger realises that Bo-Katan's armour got damaged in the chase and offers to make her a new bit so she can wear that as a new part of her armour. And whilst the armour is making the new piece to Bo-Katan's armour, Bo-Katan tells her, can she have a Mysosaur emblem on her new piece of armour? But the armourer pretty much says that's fine because every Mandalorian can have that part of them. And then Bo-Katan says she saw a Mysosaur in the waters of Mandalore, but the Forger pretty much doesn't think she did. She thinks she's just seeing things or seeing visions from the waters, but Bo-Katan still, thinks that she's seen a real Mysosaur, and this is pretty much just confirming Bo-Katan is going to go back to Mandalorian and try to tame the Mysosaur so she can take full control of all Mandalorians, because you can't do the whole dark saber thing because that would mean she'd have to kill Mando. So this is the new way they're going to try to make Bo-Katan the head of the Mandalorians again, which is Bo-Katan is going to tame a Mysosaur. And that's how the episode ends, with Bo-Katan getting a new piece of her armour and the Forger pretty much telling her stop seeing things, basically. Yeah, and that's how the episode ends. I think the episode's okay. It's a 7.5 still out of 10 for me. Again, a lot of the, flashbacks scenes were a big reason for this episode being good. But there are still a lot of problems, and they really do need to explain the helmet thing still, because it doesn't make sense. But a good episode. And that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. Entertainment Soldier. Bye.